How is it going, guys? My name is Wanzi Burnett and welcome back to Katawa Shojou, and quite frankly, let's just pretend the last episode didn't exist. Oh my god, last episode was interesting, but yeah. I'm in a bit of a Twilight mood right now. Not Twilight as in the film, Twilight as in the time of day. It's not quite light, it's not quite bright, but it's not quite dark. So it's a bit indifferent, so this episode could come out really interesting. We'll see. Anyway, let's get back into this. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness and I find myself blushing. That was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. The walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. My trousers have been soiled, so I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room. But there was still a fairly obvious looking stain on the front. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji, and he didn't notice a thing. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked about how the night went, and whether or not I'd learned anything of importance. I don't even know how I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'll admit that I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emmy had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She is indeed waiting for me when I arrive, doing her best to look cheery despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. "You're early." Emmy frowns and shakes her head.
"Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, his owl? All tuckered out?"
Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Did they or didn't they? I mean, it's kind of implied that they did, but I don't know. Did they? I know that they kind of dry humped a little, but I don't know if they actually did the business, the dirty, yeah, that. I don't know if they did. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night. I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Emmy laughs out loud, and then her face suddenly becomes concerned.
"Hey, that's not I mean, you're not..."
Go on, spit it out.
It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were...
Oh. Oh! Now that she mentions it, it really is a legitimate concern. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course, other than more pressing matters. Other more pressing concerns had been at hand. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handle those fine, so Amy considers this point. A devious... Look at that face!
Say.
The light vanishes and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious.
"I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves."
"What do you need gloves for?" Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is seated.
"For this, of course. Sure, regular moving about is all well and good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters."
"So, what? Are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone?" Emmy thinks for a minute, or pretends to think.
If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed."
She does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform? I'd have expected her to wear a gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Emmy looks what's a askance? That's an interesting word.
"Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves?"
Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh?
"I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I'll need your help."
She's planning to be dirty, isn't she? Okay, I can't imagine what for, but then again I didn't have any clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Amy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. This is not gonna happen again, is it? I'm not gonna have to bring Swagnet back out, because I swear to God, he's not gonna be happy. It's actually kind of cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first, hoping it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens, and Emmy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. Let's just turn that over. She makes a few runs at it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object.
"Stupid wheelchair. His owl, can you give me a hand here?"
"Sure, no problem." It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly.
Hey, easy there.
Oops, sorry. It's about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going, and I run Emmy's chair into a mat. Oh god. She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me.
Hizal?
Yes? Promise me you'll never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand.
Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hizal?
As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. In fact, as I move into a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. Okay. Mickey? What do you think about all this? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Oh my god! Why? It's had nothing! And then suddenly it's all coming together. Literally, oh god. I'm gonna try so hard just to speak this. I don't want to have to get Swagnet back. Well, at least we've got privacy now, which is a good thing as my hands work quickly to remove Amy's blouse and skirt. I'm startled to discover that she's forgotten to put her bra on today. Did she plan this? Her arms hook under mine and rest on my shoulders as I kiss my way down Emmy's neck, pausing to give special attention to a spot right where the neck meets the shoulder that I'd found last night.
You've got him pretty good at the...
I do try. Emmy pushes on my chest insistently and I draw back with a puzzled expression.
I've got a confession, Hizal.
Oh? Having pulled back, I decide instead to focus my attention on her breasts. As she attempts to speak, her words are interspersed with giggles that I find incredibly cute.
You actually...
Oh god, I can't, Swagnet! I don't want to bring him out again. Nope.
I don't actually wear gloves.
My own reply is rather mumbled onto her chest instead of being addressed to her face. Should have known. Her words become irrelevant. Emmy's movements are almost frantic, as if, oh god, that's just... Words but quickly become irrelevant. Emmy's movements are almost frantic, as if she's been holding something back since we met this morning, and now she has an outlet. I'm very nearly caught off guard by her aggressiveness, feeling her nearly rip my shirt off the way she seems to vie in to be the dominant position. For my part, I confess that I'm caught up in her little attitude as well, fighting back, rolling and wrestling, even as I caress her breasts, even as her fingers dig into my shoulders and I lose track of where we... So much so that I roll right off the mat and land on something small and rather hard. Stop talking about your dick like that! Ow! Emmy, still flushed and breathing a little heavy, peers at me and bursts into laughter.
I'm sorry. You alright?
Yeah, I think so. Not sure what I landed on though. I reach under my back and pull the offending object, inspecting it closely. Personal lubricant, lemon flavoured. No! So my brother just came in the room, which was fun. Wait, what? Emmy's eyes shoot upwards and she begins, if possible, to laugh even harder. Somehow, I don't think this isn't track related.
Oh man, I know whose that is.
What?
It's the track captain's.
Ah, my old nemesis. Or, kind of. How do you know it's his? It appears that I've asked a stupid question, or at least Emmy thinks so.
Because he's the one who told me the track shed was a good place for... What did he call them? Clandestine encounters.
Oh? He invite you to one or something? Emmy bursts into more laughter. I confess that the sight of a naked Emmy laughing is oddly beautiful. I feel an eagerness to end conversation and get back to what we were doing, despite my rather pointed questioning.
Hizal, the track captain's gay.
Oh! Huh? Really? Here I initially thought you two were a couple.
Well, I did have a crush on him when I first joined up, but he wasn't interested, obviously. But we were good friends, I guess. I mean, he told me all about this, you know. I hesitate to ask, and I really do, but I ask anyway. But what does he need the, lube for anyway? I mean, he doesn't, How the hell does Emmy always manage not to blush? Obviously, he uses it for, you know, anal. Ah! This was supposed to be a relatively innocent little thing, and then this happened. I tried to suppress a snicker. I fail. Emmy's giggling too. And he tells you about all this? Emmy shrugs. Yeah, of course. He's kind of wild about the whole thing. Says it's a feeling that can't be beat. Uh-huh. The air in the track shed seems to be charged with some kind of horrible cure. Oh, God. Oh, God. I tried so hard for so long to keep this channel PG. I suppose I'll have to take his word for it. Well, birds outside stop chirping. The wind dies down. Somewhere a man is drinking a cup of coffee. He freezes with the cup at his lips. We could, maybe, try. Oh, of course. There is no way in hell I am going to be talking or even allow myself to record this ever happening. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I can't. I straight up cannot. I'm serious. If this actually gets to them about to do anal, I am just gonna pause it and cut it out. I'm not even attempting. I'm not even. There is nothing I can do there. I'm just gonna cut it out. My jaw suddenly and spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? Emmy is finally blushing, rubbing the... Hang on, I'm going to show you guys something. If I go to options, disable adult content. Why? Why is it still here? I've clicked on disable adult content. It is still there. I don't quite know. Emmy is finally blushing, rubbing the back of her head ruefully. Well, it's just that we can't really do what we did last night, you know? It wouldn't be safe, you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly a great idea last night. So, you know, we could try this to see if it, is as good? Well, yeah, basically. God damn it. Huh? Oh, what is happening? Is he about to have a freak out? Why is there melons? What just happened? I clicked the disable adult content button. So, did they just do it? Maybe? I'm confused. Emmy yelps a little as she rolls over. She grabs a couple of the tissues we'd kept handy earlier and cleans up before getting her panties back on an awkward... So, yeah, they did. Still breathing heavily, I decide to sit against the wall next to her. The feeling of the cool concrete against my sweating back is a welcome sensation. That hurt at the end. Yeah, this was probably not a great idea. Emmy squirms in order to try and sit down beside me without too much pain. Judging by her wincing, it doesn't really work. Yeah, I'm going to have words with the captain. He was clearly lying. The utter and absolute ridiculousness of the situation suddenly hits, and I begin laughing. Amy shakes her head and begins laughing with me. Hey, Hazal? Yeah? We're never doing this again, right? Yeah, I think my curiosity is satisfied on this one. Amy nods, satisfied. Good. I think we should maybe stick to the basics, don't you? I mean, most of this is new to me anyway. What do you mean, most? Amy grins impishly. I'll never tell. An unpleasant thought strikes me. Even more unpleasant is the thought of having to ask Emmy about it. Still, after what we've just done, it should be a cakewalk. Hey, is there a sink? I'd kind of like to, wash off a little. Emmy's jaw drops. In the sink? Well, there's not really anywhere else to do it, is there? And I want to avoid a smell that the nurse might notice. This is the most awkward conversation I've ever had, and this is the most awkward thing I've ever had to read! You're right. Yeah, there's, it's on the back wall. There might be some soap too. Thanks. There is, in fact, a little hand soap, which is better than nothing. No towel, though. Guess I'll just have to trip. So, in 2 episodes, I've gone from being an innocent boy to suddenly doing anal with a girl with no legs. I'm speechless! All finished? Yeah, that'll do for now. It's not like I'm going to take a shower after we see the nurse. Glad to hear it. Now help me find my clothes. You tossed them somewhere. Hey, you will know better. How am I supposed to explain that hole in my shirt, Heh, sorry. I got a little excited earlier. Okay. It takes some time, but we're finally both more or less clothed. There's a frantic moment where neither of us knows where Emmy's wheelchair is, but I recall going through the door and rescue it. Now be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Bumps are not my friend right now. I am so sorry we tried this. Emmy shrugs and grins. Well, it was worth a shot, right? And anyway, it was good exercise, right? Can't argue that. I don't want to carry on this series anymore. It's too awkward. I really don't. As we make our way up to the nurse's office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat. God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Hizal. Why's that? Because now I don't have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny. Oh, we're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about how Emmy's constant shifting about in her wheelchair. Either he didn't notice or he didn't want to notice. All the same, I'm going to have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while, just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I clean off our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I can probably afford a nap. I really don't want to know. I straight up. Okay, knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock? That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there! More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I am suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Sorry I wasn't in class, I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend and it tired me out. Yeah, that'll go over well. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Iburazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me! Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out! Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tiring morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also hardly doubt she's brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know. With friends, I have no idea. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold out my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You've got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole wide conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's so dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock! You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to, do that for you, if you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. And I'm going to end this episode right here because I can't deal with this anymore. I can't... I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, guys. Quite frankly, this game is getting to a point where I'm scared to record it now. I'm even more curious to know what the... Am I missing something? Did they actually do it last night? Or was that just because... Did they actually do it in the previous episode? The adult content feature just decided to kick in there. So anything up to anything up to actually doing it is cut out. That's not the definition of adult content! Okay, anyway. I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to leave a like and do all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next episode. So... thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day and a great life, and I will see you later. Take care.